This is a satellite footage of Russian troops which have been deployed near the Ukraine's borders in the recent weeks. Hundreds of armored vehicles, tanks, artillery installations and more than 100,000 soldiers have been relocated near to Ukraine. Why now? And what are possible worst scenarios? We are going to answer these questions. I welcome you to Global Political Analysis channel, and we are starting right now. There is a threat today that there will be wars tomorrow. We are entirely prepared for an escalation, said Ukraine's president last Friday. His head of military intelligence warned that around 90,000 Russian troops are now deployed in the vicinity of Ukraine and could invade from several directions by January. Russia is mobilizing its forces, but much more covertly than in the past. Moscow's belief that the European Union and Washington will not step in to protect Ukraine could lead it to take direct military action. On 10th of November, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken publicly warned Russia not to make a serious mistake by escalating its war against Ukraine. The warning came after Russian troops were reported to have massed on the border with Ukraine. Russian deployments are ongoing, and open source reporting alone can only capture a fraction of the actual military moves. But why this escalation happens now? Well, to answer this question, we should look into the crisis from different perspectives. Firstly, ongoing bilateral relations between Turkey and Ukraine, mostly based on military assistance from Turkey. Secondly, Russia's economic situation, which, due to recent sanctions since 2014, is weakened and cannot fully cover Putin's military campaign in Europe and on post-Soviet republics. Third, Europe's and Washington's growing diplomatic and financial support to Ukraine. And the last but not least, Turkey's ambition in the region, especially for Crimea, which, as Erdogan mentioned recently, is Ukraine's sovereign territory, and they do not recognize Crimea as part of Russian soil. From these perspectives, Ukraine's military cooperation with Turkey and NATO is the most dangerous for Russia. Since Ukraine is weak now, changing political realities on the ground is much easier now than it could be in the future. In this context, Russian policymakers see that truly independence for Ukraine can only be in cooperation with Russia. What are possible worst scenarios? Since Russian troops are massed at Ukraine's borders, this might have two main reasons. Firstly, massing forces near the borders, Russia shots a try at international order and mainly at European Union and the United States, to measure and see their reaction and to know how far some countries are eager to reach in case of a crisis. Secondly, having military pressure on Ukraine, Russia tries to reach an extra mile on negotiating table and to have better starting position as the current status quo. Last but not least, if Russia invaded Ukraine in 2014, nothing will keep it back in repeating the experience in 2021. Even more, the US President Biden has announced recently that Washington will not send troops to Ukraine in case of a military escalation, because Ukraine is not a NATO member country. However, he mentioned that Russia will face severe consequences if Putin decides to invade Ukraine. Despite extreme negotiations, probability of a military escalation, but not long-running, is high. Thank you friends for watching this video. Please subscribe and write your opinions about probability of war in the comments below.